Okay, back again on the Rich Van Tassel Sports Channel. Today is Thursday, September 10th, the first day of the NFL season. We're going to break down the playoff scenarios I see happening from what we gave you from each division breakdown and the playoff teams we gave you. But first, we're going to give you what my picks for the postseason awards. I'm going to start with MVP. I have three candidates for you that I think will be at the top of the list. Dez Bryant, the wide receiver of the Dallas Cowboys, Aaron Rodgers, the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers, and Russell Wilson, the quarterback of the Seattle Seahawks. Dez Bryant, of course, is a guy who I think is Tony Romo's go-to guy. He's what makes Tony Romo, and he has that it factor for this team. He's the winner they need. He's the guy who's going to carry him, especially with the lofty expectations placed on him this year. Aaron Rodgers, we know what he can do. He's mobile. He can hit guys with any pass. He can throw the ball on the run. He can run when necessary. He's a gamer. The defending MVP, obviously, he's going to be in the running. And then you also have Russell Wilson, a calm, steady influence on this team. He's going to prevent them from getting complacent with all the success they've been having over the last couple of years. He's a guy who wants to win. He's hungry for it, and he's always striving to get better. Of those three, I will give Russell Wilson the nod for the MVP this season. I think he's going to show why he's worthy of all that money. He's going to keep this team competitive, and he's going to just settle everything down and keep them afloat, and he knows exactly what needs to be done. So Russell Wilson will be the 2015 MVP. We move on to Defensive Player of the Year. The three candidates I have are J.J. Watt, defensive end extraordinaire from the Houston Texans, Patrick Peterson, the cornerback for the Atlanta Falcons, and Eric Weddle, the safety for the San Diego Chargers. J.J. Watt is the defending Defensive Player of the Year. He's a guy who can cover tight ends running downfield. He can cover receivers on short passes in the zone. He gets pressure on the quarterback. He turns the ball over. And he can stop the run. He's everything you want, and that's the reason why he's won the Defensive Player of the Year award 2 times in the past. Patrick Peterson is a big physical cornerback with speed, with ball skills, and he's a guy who can cover anyone with the best of them, and he's looking to make his ascension as the best cornerback in the league. Eric Weddle, we discussed yesterday, I believe would win the Defensive Player of the Year if this team makes the playoffs. However, I don't see the San Diego Chargers making the playoffs. Eric Weddle is a sensational player. There's a reason why he's been an All-Pro for 5 consecutive seasons on one team or another, and he's very steady back there. He can turn the ball over. He knows how to read quarterbacks, and he's an excellent safety. So with those three choices, I will give the nod to Patrick Peterson this year, the cornerback for the Arizona Cardinals. He's a guy who's looking to make his claim as the best cornerback in the league. We'll see if he gets the Darrelle Revis treatment where people won't even throw to him. I've noticed of late that while they don't do it often, people will throw to Richard Sherman a bit more than will ever throw to Darrelle Revis in his heyday. And I'm going to see if Patrick Peterson can get that sort of respect. So his interception numbers might not be there, but I'd actually say the lower Patrick Peterson's interception numbers are this year, the higher his probability to win the Defensive Player of the Year goes up, because people will realize that teams aren't even throwing, and that's how you get the respect around the league. Our Rookie of the Year, we have two choices. This is for the offensive side of the ball: Amari Cooper, the wide receiver for the Oakland Raiders, and Todd Gurley, the running back for the St. Louis Rams. I'm going with Amari Cooper. I think he's going to be the reason why the Oakland Raiders end their long drought and make the playoffs this season. He's a guy who's got speed, he's a game breaker, and he's won in the past. Todd Gurley, I would have given this award to, but I don't know where his health's going to be at the beginning of the season, where I think Amari Cooper will take off. And I think Todd Gurley will really start to come on towards the end of the season, but you're not going to see that much at the beginning of the year, which is really going to hurt him. But I expect big things for Todd Gurley in his career. Then we move on to the Defensive Rookie of the Year. The two choices are Byron Jones, the Cowboys' top pick, the cornerback from Connecticut, a guy who they're going to look to play at maybe safety in a tweener position, but with the injured Orlando Scandrick, he's probably going to see extended time at the cornerback position. This guy who's 6'1", he's very fluid in his motions, which is important for a cornerback, and he's got speed. And then Leonard Williams, the defensive end from USC, who will be on the New York Jets this season. Big guy, a guy who is on a lot of experts' number one overall prospect on the draft board this year, and I am going to give Leonard Williams the Defensive Rookie of the Year. I don't think the Jets will be as successful as the Cowboys this year, I don't know if Byron Jones is just quite ready, and the Cowboys secondary has not always been the best in the past, so it might get overshadowed where he's shutting guys down, but the Brandon Carrs and the Morris Claibornes, who I expect to have better years, but they also have the tendency to get beat from here and there, so I think that'll hurt Byron Jones' chances. And then our coach of the year, I'd like Mike Zimmer, the coach of the Minnesota Vikings. I don't have the Vikings making the playoffs. I have them at 9-7, but right on the edge. They certainly can make it there. This is a guy who's continuing to bring this team up. Starting last year, he did so, and I expect him to make a nice, improvement this year, especially with Teddy Bridgewater at quarterback. Mike Zimmer's been in the league a while as a defensive coordinator. He's very highly respected, and he had this team playing very well last year. Probably should have gotten more consideration than he did last year. So Mike Zimmer will be my coach of the year. So quick recap: the MVP choices between Dez Bryant, Russell Wilson, and Aaron Rodgers. I'm giving it to Russell Wilson. Defensive Player of the Year choices are J.J. Watt, Patrick Peterson, and Eric Weddle. I'm giving it to Patrick Peterson because I don't think that the San Diego Chargers are going to make the playoffs, giving Eric Weddle the exposure he needs. Offensive Rookie of the Year between Todd Gurley and Amari Cooper. I'd like Amari Cooper to really flourish with Derek Carr, and they're going to do good things, or possibly great things, for years to come. And the Defensive Rookie of the Year, the choices between Byron Jones and Leonard Williams. Byron Jones from the Cowboys, Leonard Williams from the Jets. I like Leonard Williams. I think that while his team won't be as competitive, Byron Jones will get overlooked in Dallas. And then Coach of the Year, Mike Zimmer, continuing to make the rise up the ranks, or as he continues to rise with this team, and he'll get more notice. Guys been respected for many years. All right, so there are your awards for this upcoming season. We're now going to break down the playoff scenarios I see. In the NFC, I see the two wild card games being the Dallas Cowboys hosting the Arizona Cardinals, and the New York Giants going to New Orleans. I'd like the Cowboys over the Cardinals, and I'd like the Saints over the Giants because this game is being played in the Superdome. If it was not in the Superdome, I would pick the Giants, but being in the Superdome, it will be the New Orleans Saints victorious, and they're likely going to get that with a weaker record than the New York Giants because they win the division. I think the Giants will have a better record, but the Saints will win a weak division and be hosting a playoff game. Those two teams, the Cowboys will move on to play Seattle, and the Saints will move on to go play the Green Bay Packers. I like the Cowboys over the Seahawks, and I like the Packers big time at home against the New Orleans Saints, which would leave the NFC Championship game, the Dallas Cowboys against the Green Bay Packers. Dallas will be traveling to Green Bay in this scenario, and I picked Green Bay to advance to the Super Bowl, righting the wrong from last year's disastrous NFC Championship game and moving on to the Super Bowl. As we move to the AFC, the wild card games will be the Steelers hosting the Houston Texans and the Indianapolis Colts hosting the Oakland Raiders. I would pick the Texans over Pittsburgh because of Houston's defense, and I will pick the Indianapolis Colts over the young, inexperienced Oakland Raiders. Then we'll have the Colts moving into New England and the Texans moving into Denver for the divisional games. I think that the Patriots are going to beat the Colts, and I think that the Broncos will beat the Houston Texans, but I think that's a tough game. I'm really liking Houston this year. I want to give them more credit than that, but I just can't do it as of right now. In the AFC Championship game, I have the Patriots beating the Denver Broncos. I know that's a tall task. A lot of teams don't go to back-to-back Super Bowls. However, the Seattle Seahawks just did it, and I think Tom Brady is going to be angry this year. Which will take us to the Super Bowl, which will be the Green Bay Packers against the New England Patriots, two of the best quarterbacks in the league, and I think Aaron Rodgers will prevail and get his second Super Bowl title that he probably thinks he should have gotten last year, and he'll really move into the ascensions of greatness with that. So there are your playoff predictions in scenarios. Now we have tonight's game, the New England Patriots hosting the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Super Bowl ceremony, Tom Brady, as of now, is set to play. I don't know if anything's going to change. I really don't think it matters, though, because I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to win tonight's game. They've played in these games before, being recent two-time champions with Ben Roethlisberger as their quarterback, so they know what's expected, they know what's at stake, and they are the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I like Pittsburgh to come out victorious tonight and win this game. So from here out, we're going to give you breakdowns every Sunday of the games, and then Monday we will give you breakdowns of the Monday night games. We're going to start going into baseball a little bit more with the playoffs coming up and basketball right around the season. But for now, we're focused on the NFL. We're going to see you Sunday, which will be the first football Sunday of this year, and we'll give you the predictions for all those games at the end, quick analysis. So stay tuned for that, and looks to be an exciting season this year.